Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Channavalabha Girivaradari Gopi Channavalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 10. Yeah. Pravartate Yatra Rajatamaha Tayoho Sattvam Cha Mishram Na Cha Kala Vikramaha Na Yatra Maya Kim Uta Apare Harehe Anuvrataha Yatra Sura Asura Architaha Pravartate Yatra Rajastamastayo Sattvang Jamishram Nachadkala Vikramaha Nayatra Maya Kumuta Pare Hare Anuvrata yatra sura surachitaha. Pravartate yatra vajastamastayo. Sattvam jamishram na cha kala vikramaha. Na yatra maya kimuta pare hare. Anuvrata yatra sura surachitaha.
Vartate yatra rajastamastayo.
Pravartate yatra vajastamastayo.
Sadvam chamishram nachakala vikramaha.
Sattvam chamishram nachakala vikramaha.
Yatra maya kimutapare hare.
Na yatra kimaya kimata pare hare.
Vrta yatra surarchita.
Anuvrata yatra sura surachitaha.
Pravartate yatra rajastamastayo.
Pravartate yatra terjastamastayo.
Satvang chamishram nacha kala vikramaha.
Sattvam chamishram nachakala vikramaha.
Nayatra maya kimutapare hare.
Na yatra kimaya pare pare.
Anuvrata yatra surarchitaha.
Anuvrata yatra sura surachitaha. Pavartatarte yatra rajatamastayo. Pravartate yatra rajastamastayo.
Sattvam chamishram nachakala vikrama.
Sattvam chamishram nachakala vikramaha.
Yachamaya kimupa parehare.
Nayachayaya kimuta pare hare.
Rayatra sura sura.
Anuvrata yatra sura surachitaha.
Pravartate yatra rajastamastayo.
Pravartate yatra rajastamastayo. Sattvam chamishram nachakala vikramaha.
Nayatra maya kimutapare hare.
Chakimaya tapare hare.
Anuvrata yatra surarchitaha.
Anuvrata yatra sura surachitaha.
Pravartate yatra rajastamastayo.
Pravartate yatra rajastamastayo.
Sadvam chamishram nachakala vikramaha.
Sattvam chamishram nachakala vikramaha.
Nayatra maya kimutapare hare.
Nayatra maya kimuta pare hare.
Anuvrataya surarchitaha.
Anuvrata yatra sura surachitaha. Pravartate prevail. Yatra wherein. Rajatama the modes of passion and ignorance. Tayoho of both of them. Sattvam the mode of goodness. Cha and. Mishram mixture. Na never. Cha and. Kala time. Vikramaha influence. Na neither. Yatra therein. Maya illusory external energy. Kim what? Uta there is. Apare others. Harehe of the personality of Godhead. Anuvrataha devotees. Yatra wherein. Sura by the demigods, Asura and the demons, Architaha worshipped. Translation. In that personal abode of the Lord, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail, nor is there any of their influence in goodness. There is no predominance of the influence of time. So what to speak of the illusory external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and the demons worship the Lord as devotees. Purport. The kingdom of God, or the atmosphere of the Vaikuntha nature, which is called the Tripad Vibhuti, is 3 times bigger than the material universes and is described here, as also in the Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. This universe, containing billions of stars and planets, is one of the billions of such universes clustered together within the compass of the Mahat Tattva. And all these millions and billions of universes combined together constitute only 1/4 of the magnitude of the whole creation of the Lord. There is the spiritual sky also. Beyond this sky are the spiritual planets under the names of Vaikuntha. And all of them constitute 3/4 of the entire creation of the Lord. God's creations are always innumerable. Even the leaves of a tree cannot be counted by a man, nor can the hairs on his head. However, foolish men are puffed up with the idea of becoming God himself, though unable to create a hair of their own bodies. Man may discover so many wonderful vehicles of journey, but even if he reaches the moon by his much advertised spacecraft, he cannot remain there. The sane man, therefore, without being puffed up as if he were the God of the universe, abides by the instructions of the Vedic literature, the easiest way to acquire knowledge in transcendence. So let us know through the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam of the nature and constitution of the transcendental world beyond the material sky. In that sky, the material qualities, especially the modes of ignorance and passion, are completely absent. The mode of ignorance influences the living entity to the habit of lust and hankering. And this means that in the Vaikuntha Lokas, the living entities are free from these 2 things. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Brahmabhuta stage of life, one becomes free from hankering and lamentation. Therefore, the conclusion is that the inhabitants of the Vaikuntha planets are all Brahmabhuta, living entities, as distinguished from the mundane creatures who are all compact in hankering and lamentation. When one is not in the modes of ignorance and passion, one is supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness in the material world. Goodness in the material world also at times becomes contaminated by touches of the modes of passion and ignorance. In the Vaikuntha Loka, it is unalloyed goodness only. The whole situation there is one of freedom from the illusory manifestation of the external energy. Although illusory energy is also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, illusory energy is differentiated from the Lord. The illusory energy is not, however, false, as claimed by the monist philosophers. The rope accepted as a snake may be an illusion to a particular person, but the rope is a fact, and the snake is also a fact. The illusion of water on the hot desert may be illusion for the ignorant animal searching for water in the desert, but the desert and water are actual facts. Therefore, the material creation of the Lord may be an illusion to the non-devotee, but to a devotee, even the material creation of the Lord is a fact, as the manifestation of his external energy. But this energy of the Lord is not all. The Lord has his internal energy also, which has another creation known to be the Vaikuntha Lokas, where there is no ignorance, no passion, no illusion, and no past and present. With a poor fund of knowledge, one may be unable to understand the existence of such things as the Vaikuntha atmosphere, but that does not nullify its existence. That spacecraft cannot reach these planets does not mean that there are no such planets, for they are described in the revealed scriptures. As quoted by Srila Jiva Goswami, we can know from the Narada Pancharatra that the transcendental world of Vaikuntha atmosphere is enriched with transcendental qualities. These transcendental qualities, as revealed through the devotional service of the Lord, are distinct from the mundane qualities of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Such qualities are not attainable by the non-devotee class of men. In the Padma Purana, Uttarakanda, it is stated that beyond the 1/4 part of God's creation is the 3/4 manifestation. The marginal line between the material manifestation and the spiritual manifestation is the Viraja river. And beyond the Viraja, which is a transcendental current flowing from the perspiration of the body of the Lord, there is the 3/4 manifestation of God's creation. This part is eternal, everlasting, without deterioration, and unlimited, and it contains the highest perfectional stage of living conditions. In the Sankhya Kaumudi, it is stated that unalloyed goodness or transcendence is just opposite to the material modes. All living entities there are eternally associated without any break, and the Lord is the chief and prime entity. In the Agama Puranas also, the transcendental abode is described as follows. The associated members there are free to go everywhere within the creation of the Lord, and there is no limit to such creation, particularly in the region of the 3/4 magnitude. Since the nature of that region is unlimited, there is no history of such association, nor is there end of it. The conclusion may be drawn that because of the complete absence of the mundane qualities of ignorance and passion, there is no question of creation nor of annihilation. In the material world, everything is created and everything is annihilated, and the duration of life between the creation and annihilation is temporary. In the transcendental realm, there is no creation and no destruction, and thus the duration of life is eternal unlimitedly. In other words, everything in the transcendental world is everlasting, full of knowledge and bliss without deterioration. Since there is no deterioration, there is no past, present, and future in the estimation of time. It is clearly stated in this verse that the influence of time is conspicuous by its absence. The whole material existence is manifested by actions and reactions of elements, which make the influence of time prominent in the matter of past, present, and future. There are no such actions and reactions of cause and effects there. So the cycle of birth, growth, existence, transformations, deterioration, and annihilation, the 6 material changes, are not existent there. It is the unalloyed manifestation of the energy of the Lord, without illusion as experienced here in the material world. The whole Vaikuntha existence proclaims that everyone there is a follower of the Lord. The Lord is the chief leader there, without any competition for leadership, and the people in general are all followers of the Lord. It is confirmed in the Vedas, therefore, that the Lord is the chief leader and all other living entities are subordinate to him, for only the Lord satisfies all the needs of all other living entities. Maharaj, we would love to hear from you.
Some philosophers wonder why the God would create a place like this material world where there's suffering and there is modes of ignorance and all kinds of things like that. But here's nicely explained that he doesn't just create the material world where these things are, but he also emanates, or shall we say, he originates or establishes the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, where these things are not present. So it's perfect. Just like in the society, there's places where the people live and they're free. They can live where they want, they can work, they can travel, they can do whatever they like. And there's other places within that where they're compounded, kept in a place, they can't move around. It's a prison. So prisons are natural things. It's said when they first make it a township or something, they make it a jail because they know that people will be inclined. Some people will be inclined to go against the laws of the state or the town, and they'll have to be confined in the jail for the benefit of others. That principle is described here. How on a bigger scale, there's the Tripad Vibhuti, 3/4, which is larger than the material world we live in, has only one Ekapad Vibhuti, 1/4. So just giving a general comparison that we shouldn't think that material world is the center of attraction. No, the 3/4 world is a place where the good citizens live. And naturally, it's much better there than in the prison we're living here now. That should make good sense. Nothing illogical about that. That there would be two places, one for the good citizens and one for the bad citizens. And the perfect arrangement of the Lord is that even in the material world, if someone misbehaves, he can be corrected. And by the association of the Lord when he comes, Dahi Dahi Dharma Siglani Bhavati Bharata, comes to this material world to annihilate the miscreants, to protect the devotees, reestablish the principles of religion. He comes, or he sends his devotees, and they also do the same work of trying to rectify the conditioned souls. This is all very logical, nothing illogical about this. You can see it's happening every day. So instead of trying to doubt everything that's stated in the scriptures, one should try to see how everything, it makes perfect sense. Nothing here in these books that is unbelievable. It's believable, but one has to be fortunate enough to have a little bit of faith so that they can, and a little bit of intelligence. Therefore, animals cannot understand the scriptures. There's no use reading scriptures or having a discussion about with animals because they're not able to conceive it, except in very extraordinary cases. Generally, they're not able to perceive these things. These things are meant for a higher intelligence. It's like understanding that beyond this world, there's another world in the sky. We look in the distance, 3/4, and it's larger. So that's difficult for an animal to understand that there's universes, but humans can do it. So all they have to do is hear from the right source and live in the mode of Shuddha-sattva. Shuddha-sattva means beyond the ignorance, passion, and goodness of this material world. because even the goodness here is not purely good. It's got its mixture of ignorance and passion. So it's not sufficient. Like someone may work in a hospital and wants to help people. That's nice. But he's not able to help people all the time. He's not able to do it fully. There are so many conditions on his goodness. But in the spiritual world, everything is completely blissful. And then people who are doubting, they say, well, if the spiritual world is so blissful, it must be monotonous. There's too much bliss, and so it must be miserable. No, it's not miserable. It's blissful. It's just that we're not accustomed to taste such bliss that is increasing all the time. Our pleasure is usually limited here, and it seems to decrease the more we try to enjoy the material energy. But in the spiritual world, it works differently. It just keeps increasing unlimitedly and inconceivably to the materialists. So the fact that blind people can't see it is not surprising. Blind people are known for not being able to see things. The material world is a place for the blind. Antai Tandai Upaniyaman. Blind leading the blind, everyone's going in the ditch. But there is a place called the spiritual world. We can go there and we hear from persons who've come from there. That's when the Lord appears, he's coming from the spiritual world. And we haven't even seen the higher parts of the material world. We're not even familiar with that there are heavenly planets such as Indraloka, Chandraloka. We don't even know that these planets have life and wonderful higher states than ours. So there's a lot to learn. And if we're intelligent, we should be dissatisfied with the way things are in this material world and do something about it. And that doesn't mean just form a anti-group, another ism, to try to stop the bad things. But we have to transcend the whole material world and go beyond it if we want to get free from the suffering. Otherwise, the suffering goes on here permanently for millions of lifetimes. You can go on, birth after birth, if you want. And if you want, you can get free from it in one lifetime.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, so Prabhupada started talking about how in the Vaikuntha Loka, this is a quote, the whole situation there is one of freedom from the illusory manifestation of the external energy. So we understand that the external energy or this Maya is a part and parcel of the Lord. It's a part of himself. Somebody in illusion may accept or may accept something which is real to be false, right? Or vice versa. The two examples are given here. The rope accepted as the snake may be an illusion to a particular person, but the rope is a fact and the snake is also a fact. The illusion of water on the hot desert may be illusion for the ignorant animal searching for water in the desert, but the desert and water are actual facts. Therefore, the material creation of the Lord may be an illusion to the non-devotee, But to a devotee, even the material creation of the Lord is a fact. So this is negating this type of this Mayavad, that everything is illusion. There is a real substance. For there to be a shadow, there has to be something real there, you know? And this, you know, we are certainly in illusion, conditioned by the modes of passion and ignorance, and even mixed goodness. But there is a pure state of consciousness which we are meant to revive in this human form of life. We're meant to revive our lost consciousness of that, you know, in the spiritual world. And all the Vedic literatures and are meant to revive that consciousness, help us revive that consciousness. And it doesn't come cheaply, but it does come systematically, scientifically. You know, it's there. So Prabhupada writes here a nice little statement that he says, the sane man, therefore, without being puffed up, as if he were the God of the universe, abides by the instructions of the Vedic literature, the easiest way to acquire knowledge in transcendence. So Krishna also states there in the Bhagavad Gita that kamakadata, that if we give up the injunctions of the scriptures and act whimsically, then there'll be no happiness here, or we're not attain the supreme destination either. Right? So Maharaj mentioned the concept of faith, that we have to have a little faith, a little intelligence. You know, we should apply our intelligence to the philosophy given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there's a lot there, you know, there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to consider, a lot to analyze, and to use our intellect to the reaches of its, you know, whatever the Lord has given us, let us apply it rightly to this topics, right? Or else we just will apply our intelligence to getting more and more material facilities, which, you know, our intelligence is always working for our perceived, you know, benefit. We think that we'll be benefited in a certain way, and the intelligence is always working to achieve those ends, you know. And if we're less intelligent, then Krishna gives so many different things that we do with our with less intelligence. We heard yesterday that the less intelligent, they're trying to get, they're thinking that their benefit is material pleasures, and therefore their intelligence is directing them, find some demigod, find some powerful being, and worship them, get those benefits, right? So our intelligence is always working. We put our faith in what we think will make us happy, you know, and then our intelligence works on that track. So we have a lot to have faith in, though. It's not a blind faith. It's informed and it's logical. If you just look at the personality of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he put his full faith in the Vedic literature, in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was incredibly intelligent, could have done anything. And at a certain point, he left all the subordinate branches of knowledge, and he took to Srimad Bhagavatam exclusively. Topmost science of Bhakti Yoga. You know? So he wrote books. He studied. He analyzed. he presented, you know, he practiced. So he's just one of those personalities who is exemplary in his intelligence. So we have unlimited personalities like that. We have wonderful personalities that are so beyond our meager, stature in intelligence and good qualities and so many, so many categories. We're dwarfed by these great personalities in the Parampara, who are all servants and representatives of Srila Vyasadeva. Right? So when we challenge unnecessarily, then we can't expect to receive proper blessings from such personalities who are simply begging us to become humble recipients of this knowledge, free from egoism, and false pride. When we position ourselves as such a student, then we can be enlightened very easily. So we hear from Prabhupada about the spiritual world, and it should awaken a transcendental desire to achieve that place, and we can do it in one life, as Maharaj was mentioning. So, thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees.